All right, we promised you at the start of the show we would fill out the bracket, which we will do our best to do. It is somewhat of a futile exercise because I guarantee you we're going to be woefully wrong by the end of it. But yes, here's just a couple of updates for you. Some tweaks to the 12-team playoff. Power 4 conference champions now punch their ticket, an automatic bid. Notre Dame, like we mentioned, is in the field with a top 12 bid on Selection Sunday in the highest ranked group of 6 now, with the Pac-12 entering the fray. It is not group of 5, group of 6 now. Again, does not have to be a conference champion. So we go back to our touchscreen. Here is a look at the bracket as it would be with the AP rankings. We have not played any games yet, but this is just the AP rankings. Guys, where do you want to where do you want to start here? Let's just start at like what would be perceived as the number 12 spot, and we'll talk about the group of 6. So right now it's Navy. Do you agree, disagree? Do you think there's another team that will get the group of 6 spot this year?
Navy's certainly a contender. I am looking at UNLV.
Okay.
Personally, they have Jackson Arnold coming in. Understand that has not necessarily been a great quarterback, but we saw what Dan Mullen did with Anthony Calandria last year.
Yep.
I think that team could be special.
Okay.
So what you're telling me is coaching matters, huh?
A little bit.
We were talking before the show, too. How funny would it be if Dan Mullen took the running Rebs to the college football playoff before Florida ever got there? But
You'll
I digress.
hear about it.
I digress. All right. Anybody else here? Look, here are the AP rankings. Here's a couple of the teams that are currently out right now.
Real quick, we haven't talked about the obvious SEC team, Alabama. What do we think about them? Because right now we don't have them making the college football playoff. Obviously, they're the second team out. We're doing this based on the AP poll. But do we give them a chance this year to really do something special? Because you got to look at that quarterback position with Russell being named the starter as a freshman, but all I've heard is raves about him and his playmaking ability.
Yeah.
What do you think about Alabama?
I think they're another year away.
Okay.
And I think that hopefully they give Kalen. I think they will give Kalen DeBoer. I mean, he just signed an extension last year.
Pretty good buyout there. I don't.
But hey, man, if you're an Alabama fan, trust me, bro. Wait. Like this, it will be worth the wait. Like
the offense has to be better than it was last year.
And I do think it will. I mean, it was just so odd. Like Alabama of all teams could not run the football last year. That's not supposed to be a thing.
Yeah.
So for you Alabama fans, I just want to make sure that we touched on your team.
Very nice of you, Skubie.
Very nice. Do you want to go 13 through 25 then? Make everybody else feel good. What about Washington?
We no.
Hold on. There is another team that I did want to talk about at least, and that would be this team right here.
I'm with you on that.
I'm pretty high on Bear Bachmeier and BYU. Let's not forget their running back was the preseason player of the year. So I don't know if it's a straight switch here with Texas Tech and BYU or if the Big 12 gets 2 in. But I'm high on this team here.
Throw them in there.
For just swap them?
Yeah, swap them with Texas Tech.
You think it's just a 1-1?
Sure, why not?
All right.
We'll make it simple since we've
we've
already got the land laid out here.
Is there anybody else here that should be here right now?
That should be?
Yes. Yeah. Anybody here
does Michigan deserve any mention at all?
I know you're high on them.
I think Michigan is going to – I would take Michigan over Penn State this year. I also think Tennessee, that's a team to look out for this year.
Not a lot of people. So you're a Faison branding guy.
Yeah. And that, I mean, they're talented. That's a talented team.
Yeah.
Right. There's so many different things that you can look at on this left side of
Houston
out.
Houston is a team to keep an eye on.
Tough
Connor
schedule.
Wigman. They have a tough schedule. Connor Wigman played really good last year. They added Mekhi Hughes, who was at Tulane a couple of years ago, transferred to Oregon, didn't play, entered the portal really early. I think that is a guy that's going to be in for a rebound season.
Well, let's make one more substitution just for fun. So if you're going to say, like, Michigan should be in, give me a Big Ten team that you're kind of fading then.
Ooh, I'm not taking them out over anybody that's on there.
You're not.
I'm just saying, like, I think that they're more of a contender than Penn State is.
All right, so we feel good about this right now.
Yeah, let's keep these
go.
right
Let's
here.
fill it out. So UNLV, Texas. That's not. Thanks for playing, Dan Mullen. All right, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Where are we going?
I'm going to A&M here, if you ask me.
Both in the playoff last year?
I would go Ole Miss there.
But Trinidad is a gamer when it comes down to the big
They've been there. They've been there. I mean,
this would be at home.
So as Marcel Reed and them, it's going to be at home, Ole Miss.
All right.
Yeah, I think I would still take Ole Miss.
Take Ole Miss over Texas A&M.
How about Ole Miss back-to-back years with a little bit of a run in the playoff?
And don't remember, we're saying Ole Miss with LSU sitting as the first team out. Now imagine that.
Yeah.
Ole Miss making it to the quarterfinals. The
back-to-back
first year
years.
without Lane
We
Kiffin.
weren't intentionally messy, but I mean,
I would love that. I love chaos. All right, come on.
That's a fun one. BYU, Indiana. All right.
Indiana for sure. That
Come on, man.
in
Come
that
on.
matchup, because I'm with you that I think we're sort of overlooking BYU this year. That Indiana defense is going to be too much for Bear Brockmeyer.
Look, there's a reason Kalani Sitake stayed at BYU. He had options to go, but he stayed.
Humble cookie.
That helps.
Yeah.
Oklahoma and Miami.
Ooh,
Does
that,
the U have another
we got
run?
that matchup bad. Ooh, man.
Defense on defense there.
What type of year is Mensa having, right? Is he taking care of the football? A lot of different things.
So here's the key, though, with this one, Scoop, to me, because we know what we're getting out of Miami on both sides of the football.
Yeah.
The only question we're really asking about Oklahoma is the offense going to be there. To me, if they make the playoff, their defense is doing their part. The offense probably stepped up.
Yeah.
To which degree, we don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe in that matchup, then we go Oklahoma. Just because, again, we have big expectations.
I'm with you.
That could be the best defense in college football this year. At worst, it'll be top 5.
I definitely think they are the best defense. And it
So
goes
maybe
back to what we said.
Just to be different, we'll go
Will
Oklahoma.
Mateer be able to just manage the game, right? Sometimes you just don't need your quarterback to try and be the hero. Don't be Superman. Take care of the football and let the defense do what the defense does. And as we have heard, as the cliche in sports, defense wins.
Word out of camp, Isaiah Satania is as advertised as one of, if not the best wide receivers in the game this year.
Yeah.
So,
Special camp.
Yes.
Special camp this year.
All right, Texas, Notre Dame.
Ooh.
Now it's getting juicy.
I said this earlier at the top of the show that Notre Dame is one of the most experienced teams in the country. We talked about Indiana when they won the championship last year. What did they have? They had older guys on their team. They had experience. The team that is the most experienced this season is Notre Dame, and they have the #1 returning players and a special quarterback. So I'm going with Notre Dame to beat Texas here. Where do you stand, Sam?
No, I don't disagree with you. I'm just thinking, like, damn, this is a tough quarterfinals matchup. This could easily have been a championship game. But
two big names.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's gonna be
Quite frankly, I originally was not a fan of the 12-team playoff. NIL and transfer portal have actually made it to where even if we were just talking about the teams right here, realistically, you could convince me any of those teams could win the national championship.
1,000%. Yeah.
Any
Before that,
so
there's usually maybe 3.
Right.
So yeah, I'm with you. It's tough.
The list is deeper.
What are you going?
I'm letting you pick. You pick this one.
We'll go to the Notre Dame fans have been upset. All right.
All fans are upset, Scooby.
Again, it's not. Look, it's not as if like this is like a revolutionary thing. Scoop, move them up because we gotta get Ole Miss over there or Ohio State.
Oh wait. And then
now just Notre Dame's going to win the whole thing. Let's go Ole Miss, Ohio State.
Hey, that is sometimes you are your own biggest opponent.
Worst enemy, right?
Ohio State here, man.
Yeah.
I really do think this offense, whatever the defense may or may not turn into, it's going to be good enough to hold back whatever they're going to be putting on the board.
Now let me bring this up because it's continued to be a topic of discussion, especially in this round. Notre Dame, Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, all had byes. They're going to have these teams coming off of playing the following week,
that's a good point.
the previous week.
Yeah.
Do we believe that Ohio State will be locked in enough to take on an Ole Miss team that has already taken on Texas A&M and they come in there hot?
Yep.
All right? I just raise the question. Sam?
I agree. I think it's, I agree. The win total for Ohio State's 8.5 this year.
Like, that's not the scary one.
8.5?
That is the scary buy.
Right.
If you're Georgia and
Indiana,
you would have to play
Georgia?
Indiana.
Yeah. Because are we going to go chalk here? Or are we finally going to lean towards India? I love Georgia this year, too, man. There's something about what they're trying to do at Georgia. Kirby Smart has said he wants to be more explosive. This was an offense that was already clicking on a lot of different cylinders last year. And he's talking about we need this offense to be more explosive. Are you going to cut Gunnar Stockton loose? He's a guy that threw a lot of hitches, a lot of screens last year in the top half of the country when you talk about throwing the ball in terms of in air yards. But this year, they're going to try to open things up.
All right. So I know Athens is a very special place in your heart for college games.
Well,
but let me just say this. There's a lot of narratives out there, like what's happened to Georgia. Think about their exits the last 2 years.
Right.
I mean, Ole Miss.
Yeah. Notre
One
Dame.
of the greatest games, that we saw that last season. And then Notre Dame with Carson Beck on the bench, right?
Yep.
So it's not as if like they've been an awful team.
No, they've been right there.
They've kind of been
SEC
snake bitten.
They've been right there,
They've
man.
been snake bitten a little bit, man. I feel like Georgia's going to advance.
See, okay, so here's to your point about the bye. You get Indiana coming off of a game, you're losing that.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
All right, for the points, since we've gone with the bye team every single time, we'll go with Indiana here. Oklahoma, Oregon. Will Oregon finally break through? Because this is where they tend to trip up.
I think so.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
this is the year.
Yeah,
This is the year?
Ryan Day was able to do it. I think Dan Lanning's one of the next guys to answer that bell,
100%.
right?
So this is when
And he's got them running on different time than even their. I mean, I understand that they were in the national championship in 2014, but like this is a different program.
Right.
Yeah.
I would agree.
And last year, the talk was really young team, one of the youngest teams in the country.
They were hurt a lot, too.
Yeah, and they still made it to the college football playoff. And now you bring back a lot of those guys. You're a year older.
Yep.
Time, as I said earlier, is your best ally.
They got to exercise some demons, though. They got to exercise some demons this year. Go ahead. Notre Dame, Ohio
Notre
State.
Dame, Ohio State.
I'm going Ohio State.
Okay, you can't go wrong here, but it's like.
Yeah. I personally, when I look at this matchup, I go Ohio State just because also, if I'm thinking semifinal, if they've gotten to this point, they've figured everything out.
That's a good point.
All right.
That's not to say that you can't say that about these other teams, but again, I think with your concern being like, oh, well, are they sharp on defense?
Yeah.
Well, like
We got a lot of potential rematches here. The Ohio State Georgia
All right.
playoff
Here we are.
game a couple years ago.
We just said Big Ten of the field at the top of this at the show. What are we going with, Oregon or Georgia? Because if we said the field is going to win the championship,
Y'all said the field.
and then we come here. And then
Well, that's why you guys wanted to put Indiana there, too. So then we wouldn't have had any SEC team.
Yeah, it's a
Look,
good
an
point.
SEC team has not been in the college football playoff title game in the last 3 years. I think that's going to change. I think Georgia.
Okay.
I think Georgia's not being talked
oh
about
my
enough.
God, that game, boy, that was
Look,
nuts.
who's won the SEC the last couple of years? Like, have we just forgotten that this is like a team that, again, I just think has gotten a little bit unlucky in the playoff?
The number one preseason ranked team has not won the championship in a very long time. Does that change this season?
Before we get there, Lyles, just talk to me about that matchup because I know you wanted to go Oregon, so I want to give you the floor.
To me, man, I mean, that would be a tough matchup. You got to remember, Dan Lanning used to be the defensive coordinator at Georgia. That's a fiery guy.
Yep.
I feel like he would not let his team lose that game.
Yeah.
But here's my thing with Oregon this year. Dante Moore is the best quarterback that he has had since he's been there.
Yeah.
None of us thought that Dante Moore would be playing football this year because we thought he was going to be the number one pick last year. And he was probably going to be number 2 if he would have gone.
Fair.
Because of that, that is part of why I think, assuming they stay healthy, because again, that was a huge issue for them last year. If he stays healthy, to me, that is the national champion.
All right, so we have Ohio State and Georgia in the national title game, which means probably neither of those teams will be in the national title game by the end of this thing. But for the purposes of this exercise, who wins the national championship this year?
Well, I'm being stubborn right now because of what we did at the top of the show.
Yeah.
So part of me wants to say an SEC team is
y'all.
going to win the championship. And
That's y'all. Go ahead, stick with it, man.
What do you think? What do you think?
No, you got stick with it.
All right, I'm
Go
going
ahead.
Georgia. I'm
Yeah,
going
go
Georgia
ahead.
to win the championship. Kirby Smart. It's been a long time. Not really a long time, but it feels like it's been a
Feels
long
like a long
time.
time.
Look,
for him
they were
because they've been
really
right
they were
there
one of
every
the
single
young
time.
they were one of the youngest teams in the country last year.
And I'm with you, Sam. I really do think people are sleeping on Georgia. We've just gotten so comfortable with how tough they are.
Right.
They still, I think a lot of people forget that when Georgia, under the previous regime, was a really, really good football team, never got over the hump, sometimes didn't show up in big games. We don't think about them like that anymore. This is not who they are. This is Kirby Smart's Georgia.
And let's not forget, what did they have, 7 or 8 comeback wins last season? This is a team that's really accustomed to the pressure. I wonder how much of a leap does Gunnar Stockton actually make, because that will be the difference between this team winning or this team winning? Oh, wait,
Or both
I
of
got you.
Again, Ohio against everybody,
All
or
right,
themselves.
so we're going with Georgia. Sam, you can change this.
Go with Georgia because DJ, who's on our production staff, big Georgia guy.
I can hear him back there. I can hear you back there, DJ.
This is the worst thing that could possibly happen to DJ.
He actually hates that we did this.
We picked Georgia to win the national championship. So that's a shout out to you, DJ.